All right, guys, happy asynchronous Wednesday. So I'm going to walk you through what we're going to be doing today and over the next coming days. I'm really going to have a conversation about the atomic bomb. So over the course of the last couple of days, we kind of wrapped up the story of World War II in Europe. We've gone over kind of the Nuremberg trials and the Holocaust and the end of Nazi Germany. So now we're going to shift our attention back to the Pacific theater, and we're going to talk about the end of the war in Japan. So famously, the war in Japan against Japan ends when the United States drops 2 atomic bombs on Japan in August of 1945. And that pretty much finishes them off quick, fast, and on the double. So we're going to talk about kind of some of the events surrounding that. And more importantly, we're going to examine the question, was dropping the atomic bombs on Japan the right or wrong decision? A lot of people make the argument that there's a lot of other options that we could have gone to instead of dropping the atomic bomb. And they argue that dropping the atomic bomb was not really the right decision. So the atomic bomb killed civilians, both of them, okay? The atomic bomb caused a lot of damage to things other than the military-industrial complex, both of them. So there's a lot of things to consider when trying to tackle this question. Was dropping the bombs the right or wrong decision? So over the course of the next couple of days, we are going to kind of dive in and look at some arguments on both sides of this question. We're going to look at some arguments that support the idea that dropping the atomic bombs was the right idea. And we're going to look at some arguments that support the position that dropping the bomb on Japan was the wrong idea, the wrong decision. So we'll take a look at arguments on both sides. For starters, we will take a look at just some statistics real quick. So the bombs are dropped on August 6th and August 9th, 1945 in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, respectively. The death toll, according to Yale, they put it at 200,000. Now, this death toll is kind of it's a fuzzy number. 200,000 people did not die instantly when we dropped those bombs. 200,000 people died as a result of dropping those bombs. So that's a combination of people who died instantly. It's a combination of that, of people who maybe got radiation poisoning or sickness and died as a result of that, or suffered other long-term health impacts of exposure to radiation. People who ended up starving to death or, died of some other kind of a medical emergency as a result of the bombs kind of crippling Japanese kind of medical response ability and infrastructure. So it's kind of an all-encompassing statistic. But regardless, the idea is that 200,000 people died as a result of dropping these bombs. And that's a lot of people. The photo on the left here is a photo of the atomic bomb, of one of the atomic bombs that was dropped on Japan. So you can see the size of it. There's a guy who's kind of working on some part of it there, you could see. And then the bomb on the right is the strongest bomb in the world today. It's called Tsar Bomba. It belongs to the Russians, and it is 40 times stronger than the bombs that were dropped on Japan. And you could see for scale, the bomb that was dropped on Japan on the left, we can fit 15 of them in the classroom. The bomb on the right, we could fit one of. So you get an idea about the sheer size, and then by extension, the sheer magnitude that these bombs created. When we meet live again tomorrow, I will show you some of the footage of what nuclear bombs look like when they go off, and it is startling to say the least. So that is something that we will take a look at tomorrow. So I'm going to go through some of the photographs of what Japan looked like and what some of the impact of dropping these atomic bombs were. I'm going to give you a fair warning. The last picture in this picture reel that we go over is unsettling. So just be on the lookout for that. In retrospect, I think probably I will not show it, just because I think it's unnecessary. But the atomic bomb caused all kinds of birth defects also. So, because of the radiation poisoning, women who were pregnant at the time the bombs were dropped and were then exposed to radiation, as were their fetuses in the womb. A lot of those babies are born with really, really severe birth defects. So the lasting physical impact of this extends to the next generation also. So it's worth noting. So just complete rubble. Okay. Drop the bombs and it just reduced everything to just dust. Okay. You could see kind of what it looks like here. Good job by that guy, whoever built that thing. But you can see it's just an absolute wasteland. Okay. Just completely and totally destroyed. People who were wearing certain kinds of clothing, depending on what it was made of, the heat was so intense it melted their clothing right onto their bodies. Like I said, depending on what it's made of. So really, really kind of ugly impacts. So as we move forward today, you're going to take a look at some arguments that kind of explain that dropping the bomb was the right thing. And then tomorrow we will take a look at arguments that focus on the idea that dropping the bomb was the wrong idea. So you essentially will examine arguments from both sides. And then at the end, you will kind of decide for yourself which side you're on. This assignment is in really three parts. The first part is taking a look at the arguments for, the second part is taking a look at the arguments against, and the third part of the assignment is kind of your response. And it's set up similarly to a DBQ. So each argument is its own document, so you will answer short answer questions for each document. For and each document on the against side. And then at the end, you're going to kind of formulate your own response. We're not going to write an essay with this, but I am going to ask you for an extended response that asks you to include evidence from both sides. So maybe a paragraph or two, but not a full-blown essay. So we're not going to do, graphic organizer and draft and all this other stuff. You're just going to write an extended response. When the time comes. So that's what we're up to today. So make sure you complete the first part of this assignment by 11:59 so you get credit for being present today. And I'll see you guys back here again tomorrow for the continuation, and then we'll keep it moving. So enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys back tomorrow. Take care.